Welcome back. March is National Nutrition Month. So in today's checklist, we're diving into a trending health topic, ultra-processed foods. Okay, I do see that all over TikTok. A new Johns Hopkins report finds these foods make up more than half of all calories U.S. adults consume at home. So we have registered dietitian and CEO of Culina Health, Vanessa Rissetto, here to explain what it means and help us make healthy choices. Good morning.
How are you?
I love your whole food strawberry dress.
Yes,
is that what's going on?
Yes,
here?
I love
processed.
Not processed. I love a good food theme. So here we are. It's National Nutrition Month. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we want you to tell us exactly what it means to be ultra processed, but also why a lot of foods are processed in the first place.
Yeah, so ultra processed has many additives, colorings, flavors, right? We're trying to maybe extend shelf life, prevent from spoilage, actually like convenience, right? Change the texture and the mouthfeel. So that's where you would see things that are altered from their natural state. But like also, you know, canning foods is also thought of as processed, right? So it's what is the differentiation? The thing is, though, there's a well-established NIH study that took people from eating whole foods to ultra-processed foods, and they increased their caloric intake by 500 calories a day, which is material. So I think the information that we've received is that eat and drink whatever you want, whenever you want, and you'll tire of eating these ultra-processed foods. Not true, because of the way they're designed, we crave them and we will eat more of them.
Because they've got all this in there, high sugar, fat, salt, and then you get kind of addicted.
That's right.
There's a lot of terms, though. So there's ultra-processed, but there's a lot of kind of different variations of this. What are some of these words we should...
Yeah, so like when you're thinking of a whole food, right? Eggs, nuts, vegetables, those are in their whole state and they haven't been stripped of nutrients, etc. Then processed, right? So again, canned vegetables or maybe, you know, meats that have been cured, that is also considered processed. And then we have ultra processed. So we're thinking of like chicken nuggets, soda, candy, cookies, even like cashew cheese, right? Like cashews aren't supposed to be cheese, so that's also ultra processed.
Interesting.
That is true.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat that.
Yeah.
So Vanessa, come on over. So I mean, again, to your point, that we know that eating too many of these processed foods, it's bad for your health. Does that then mean that all processed foods are automatically bad for you?
No. So like we were saying before, right? If sometimes we are going to have processed foods because, you know, it's going to extend the shelf life and it's going to be okay. But when we're thinking about, for example, this yogurt, so we have whole milk yogurt. This is not processed. It's most nutrient rich. Then we have low fat. This is minimally processed, but maybe weight loss is your goal. So you want to save calories. And also remember, I remember America Nutella into my yogurt. That makes it a treat for me. So maybe that's right. And so that's still processed, but it's not bad for you, right? And then we're thinking of this that had another yogurt that is sweetened, right? So this is going to be highly calorically dense. It's going to have a lot of sugars and a lot of additives for mouthfeel and flavor. So you need to be able to understand what it all means and that it's not necessarily terrible for you.
And these are some of the things that processed foods have been connected to?
That's right. So if we're eating an extra 500 calories a day, we could have, that's a link to obesity, right? Obesity puts us at risk for many other issues. And also we think that might lead to gastrointestinal disease and also depression.
Depression, really?
Yeah. I mean, verdict is not out yet, but you know, if you're not feeling good, if you're eating processed foods all the time, you're not sleeping well, there's all of these other cascade effects that negatively impact your health.
So Vanessa, I would think if you go, a lot of people say, look at the label. The longer the label, I'm guessing that's not great.
Yeah, the longer the label, the more words, the probably more ultra processed that it is, right? And so when we're thinking of things like ready to eat, instant, reduced fat, those are all processed, right? When we're reducing fat, we're stripping of fat, we're probably adding sugar, which then equals fat. So be mindful. And then also on the back, you're thinking of high fructose corn syrup, sodium benzoate, soy lecithin, xanthan gums. These are all additives.
By the way, that last one just sounds bad for you. Xanthan gum.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a binder, right? It's giving
like guar gum.
Exactly. So when we're eating gluten-free things, we want it to be as close to what we know naturally, and that's why we put these additives in so that they feel and taste
Everything's
similar.
a trade-off.
And
so whole foods, how do you try to eat a little cleaner then?
Right. So based on what we just talked about, right, you should be able to look at this board and think, oh, okay, well, the meats and the cheeses and the crackers, those are processed.
But not ultra-processed.
Not ultra-processed, right? And then we have the fruits and the vegetables. Those are whole foods, right? And so here are some things. Choose whole foods. Less reliant on convenience foods. Plan ahead. If you plan ahead, then you're not going to grab these quick things. Less is more, like we said, less ingredients. Also, like, study the labels. But remember, you can have ultra-processed foods sometimes, but what you eat does matter, so be mindful of that.
All right. Thank you,
Vanessa.
Always useful.